to my sister, have been life members of Hadassah, and I am very proud to be a life associate. I grew up hearing stories about these women's commitment to Hadassah, especially that of my great-grandmother, Rita Oxman, of blessed memory. We called her Nana, and she and I had a wonderful relationship until she died when I was 13. Family lore has it that she would take her daughter, my grandmother, around in a baby carriage, and women would stop to admire the baby, and then Nana would get them to join Hadassah. A generation later, my grandmother was very active in her local chapter in Philadelphia, and she would keep the chapter's belongings in her car. And these included a portrait of Henrietta Zoll that lived in her car trunk for months at a time. So one day, she took my aunt, who's here, to the central Hadassah office in Philadelphia, which had that same portrait of Henrietta Zoll on the wall. "We have her in our trunk," my aunt said. So because of their mother's leadership at Hadassah, my mother and her siblings learned from an early age when they would answer the phone to say, "Chicken or fish," as people called to RSVP for Hadassah events. And so I'm so pleased that my grandmothers and my aunt and my mother and other relatives, my father, my uncle, and my niece, who will be, I'm sure, the 6th generation in our family to be a life member of Hadassah. So pleased that they're all here, able to be here today as the connection with Hadassah continues on to the next generation. My own connection to Hadassah was forged by reading every issue of my mother's copy of Hadassah magazine when I was a teenager, which connected me to Israel and to the broader Jewish world. I'm also a proud graduate of the Jewish Theological Seminary, which is the same institution where Henrietta Zoll, long before she founded Hadassah, broke barriers by studying Jewish texts with men on the condition at the time that she not seek rabbinic ordination, but legend has it is that she outsmarted them all and was the best student in the class. During my rabbinical school year in Jerusalem a few years ago, the wife of one of my classmates had appendicitis. She had to have her appendix taken out. And when I went to go visit her at Hadassah Hospital, I was very proud to see and to know that many generations of my family had supported and sustained that world-class facility. So because of this long-standing connection, Daniel and I are very proud to contribute to Hadassah on a regular basis. But I support Hadassah not only because of this family connection, but also because of my firm belief in the importance of Hadassah's ongoing work. So I want to highlight quickly just 3 aspects of Hadassah's work that can teach all of us in the Jewish community how we can achieve our own goals and strengthen our communities. So the first is the importance of meaningful volunteer work. Hadassah has given generations of women meaningful opportunities to improve their communities and to feel that they are joining with others to support a cause. Especially in its early decades, and frankly even now, Hadassah has empowered women in particular to take leadership in the Jewish community. Voluntary work in the Jewish community enables all of us to use skills that might otherwise lay dormant and to forge deep bonds that allow us to be there for each other in good times and in bad. And in this first year with KTI, I've been so impressed and inspired by our dedicated volunteer leaders who donate their time and effort to keep our synagogue strong and vibrant, and a few of them are here today in celebration of me and of Dodo, and thank you for coming. The second aspect of Hadassah's work is the focus on practical problem solving. 100 years ago, when European Zionists were sitting in salons debating the theoretical foundations of a Jewish state, Hadassah women were instead busy stitching bandages and raising money to send to support the impoverished communities in the land of Israel. And at a time today when lots of flashy and so-called innovative projects get lots of attention and money in the Jewish community, the legacy of Hadassah reminds us of our important responsibility to make sure that the hungry are fed, and the sick are healed, and the young are educated, and the elderly can age with dignity. To this day, Hadassah remains true to its mission of providing world-class medical care and social services to everyone in need in Israel, regardless of background. Hadassah has not forgotten these basics, and neither can we. And in that respect, I'm so proud of my synagogue's excellent early childhood program and religious school, and our charitable work in the community through our support of the Food to Grow On program, the Interfaith Soup Kitchen, and the Mitzvah Madness Day of Service. Finally, we can all learn from Hadassah's broad-minded love of all things Jewish. And from reading Hadassah magazine, I was introduced as a young person to an all-encompassing vision of Jewish life, which includes religion and spirituality, but also literature and politics and the Hebrew language and history and food and travel and art. Hadassah celebrates the totality of our heritage and culture as Jews and promotes a sense of responsibility and connection to all Jews everywhere, especially but not only in the state of Israel. Likewise, I'm so proud of KTI's efforts to instill an appreciation for our rich heritage, for example, through our electives in the religious school, which use cooking and art and dance and drama to teach Jewish traditions and history. These basic ideas behind Hadassah remain as inspiring today as they were more than a century ago when Henrietta Zold and other pioneering women founded it. They provide instruction for all of us as we work to sustain and grow our Jewish communities into the future. Today we are celebrating Rosh Chodesh Iyar, the new month on the Hebrew calendar, and on this day we pray that our lives be renewed in this month with goodness and blessedness, with joy and gladness, with deliverance and consolation, with sustenance and support, with life and with peace. May Hadassah continue to experience all of these good things for many, many years. Thank you again for this honor.